it's high time that we talk about a game that came out this century. It's so relevant that I even talked about it on stage.
A lot of times, it's good to have your guitar plugged in.
The camera must not have been rolling during that part, but it was during this part. Yeah! Guitar solo!
Chip, that doesn't have anything to do with Fallout 4.
You don't have anything to do with Fallout 4. So, kinda weird that I didn't talk about Fallout 4 when it first came out, but I was busy doing stuff.
I'm going to try to channel my best Kip Winger.
But my new talent manager says that Fallout is hot right now, and I need to find some way to up this channel since the devil never went through on his end of the deal. The jerk.
I think there's a calling within every man to go back to our barbaric ways and be able to kill whoever we want with little to no negative repercussions. That's a big part of the appeal of this series, at least in the more recent installments.
I'll admit that I never played Fallout 1 and 2, but what I do know is that they're completely different styles from the last three, and plus, old PC games kind of freak me out. But the thing that captivated me when I first played Fallout 3, which actually wasn't that long ago, was the style. I'd never played anything like it. That Cold War, Red Scare mentality, placed in a post-apocalyptic future according to what the future would have been like in the 60s. Now, you gotta admit that that's outside of the box thinking.
Plus, a post-apocalyptic scenario has limitless possibilities with how it can play out. You guys ever seen the movie Hardware? It's a 1990 film which takes place after the apocalypse, and Fallout 3 is definitely reminiscent of this type of world, as well as, of course, films like Mad Max, The Road Warrior, and Escape from New York, which were actually influences on Motley Crue during the Shout at the Devil era, believe it or not. Ha, yeah, I know that because I read books, as long as they're about Star Wars or bands.
I think that Hardware may have even been an inspiration for the Dream Theater song Trial of Tears. If you stop to think about it, it's kind of weird that these games are as popular as they are. Not because they're subpar or bad or anything like that, but because they take place after the apocalypse. That's kind of morbid, huh?
Games, at their core, are a means of escape. Normally, you'd think that we, as gamers, would want to play games that are improvements on our lives, like ones that take place in, I don't know, a good version of the future. But I guess what it boils down to is just that, escapism. These free-roaming RPGs aren't bound or constricted by rules and limitations. You can really go at your own pace. Life's not like that. In life, you're restricted by rules and laws. But out in the wasteland, there are no laws. There are no rules.
Because in real life, things are much harder than in video games. In real life, you're on your own. And if the elevator tries to bring you down, go crazy. Murder a bunch of junkies.
Yeah, this is Chip.
Chip, remember what we talked about. You gotta start the review sooner. These modern day audiences don't know how to pay attention for more than 2 damn minutes.
Yeah, just let me do my job.
Then let me do mine.
Yeah, I'm hanging up.
So anyways, step 1 would be buying the game.
Now that we have that seemingly irrelevant bit of information established, it's time to start designing our character.
First and foremost, we need to design our character to look the most like Samus.
Well, she looks like a woman at least. Ooh, I can add makeup! Perfect! Let's start the game. The first thing that I noticed about Fallout 4 is the graphics. The graphics are more cartoonish and colorful, which I'm, for the latter part at least, okay with. The game takes place in Boston, and if you try to make Boston look worse than it already is, it simply can't be done. So they add lots of colors to provide contrast. I mean, the blood looks like N64 blood. I know it's nitpicking, but half of the fun of the combat in these games is shooting off body parts in slow motion. How am I supposed to enjoy that when it looks like somebody animated blood spurting with Gary's mod?
Gary's mod isn't for animating blood spurting, it's for animating your favorite video game heroines in sexual situations, like this one.
Alright, put her there and there. Just pretend like they're lezzing out right now. The second thing that I notice about Fallout 4 is the controls. They feel stilted and shitty.
But that's okay, because using the magical power of computer games, we can customize our controls to specifically tailor to what we need, okay?
We play the role of Samus Aran, proud mother of baby Sean and wife of this guy with the goatee.
Yeah, because if I were magically transported to the year 2077 as a woman, of course the first thing I would do would be marry a guy with a goatee. Yeah, right. I wish I could customize the guy, too.
Anyone who watches this channel, which is no one, might notice that whenever I have a customizable character, I make her female. I honestly don't know why I tend to lean towards female protagonists as opposed to male. Maybe it's because I grew up playing Metroid, which everyone knows stars a female heroine.
And anyone who doesn't know that is a fucking misogynist.
Or maybe it's because deep down, I've always wanted to be a woman.
But it's more than likely that the reason that I enjoy playing as girls is because I like girls. I'm almost a girl myself.
In all honesty, if I was transported to the post-apocalypse, I would want to be this guy.
There's a droid running crazy in my lounge.
It's okay, we can go to my place.
The next thing that I notice about Fallout 4 is the HUD. It's all fucked. I honestly don't know what it is, but it took me a really long time to get used to the controls of the game. Everything is swapped around foobarly. There's this part where I had to get into a really clunky power armor suit, something that I honestly never had any desire of using in any of the previous games, to fight off a group of raiders. It's a big problem when I can't figure out how to take the goddamn armor off. I mean, given that this game tells you how to do everything else, it seems odd that they would overlook how to take this goddamn stupid power armor off.
But maybe it's supposed to feel that way. Your character is supposed to feel uncomfortable and unaccustomed to the world that she's just woken up to. And speaking of my character, let's talk about her.
The most noticeable change from Fallout 3 in New Vegas to Fallout 4 is the narrative. Namely that your character has their own voice, kinda like a BioWare RPG.
If I'm being completely honest, I've never really cared much for RPGs where the main character exchanges an audible dialogue. I've always felt that in RPGs such as this one, a silent protagonist, albeit one whom you choose what you want them to say, increases the immersion.
I think in games such as Mass Effect, it works because you're not just a random dude, you are Commander Shepard. You have the control over the decisions he makes, but he still has his own backstory. In games like KOTOR, the characters you play are less fleshed out. They have their backstories, yes, but they also don't have their traits set in stone. Personally, I find it more immersive if you control what your character says, but they don't say it. It almost forces you to read through it in your head as if you're speaking on their behalf.
Chip, what happened to your shirt?
Oh, yeah. Well, I had to sell it to afford this game.
Who would want to buy a shirt from a D-list YouTube celebrity?
I don't know. All I know is that someone in Georgia paid a pretty penny for this shirt. Hey, Jimmy Crack Corn? Now give a flying fuck!
It came! It finally came! Thank you for buying my shirt or whatever. Also, take these unpassable pieces of shit. Whoa! An article of clothing from Chip Roberts himself. He must have sent it in the mail himself. That means he knows where I live. He wrote my name on the delivery label. Does this mean we're best friends now? That by donning this article of clothing, I will become just like him? Yeah! Guitar solo! Bang horse! Metroid Man!
Preston didn't like it when I said that newspapers suck, and he really didn't like it when this mean old lady was rude to me, so I followed her home, snuck into her house, blew her head off with a shotgun, and looted her corpse.
And I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you damn meddling robots!
But Dogmeat doesn't give a shit. Dogmeat is loyal. Dogmeat will love you unconditionally.
I still wish it was cat meat instead.
Now it's time to go to Diamond City and kitty! Oh, the kitty! Oh, Yeah, you would come home with me, kitty. Yeah, you come home with me. You're my kitty cat. My kitty cat. Now I'm supposed to go to Diamond City and meet up with Nick Valentine, but oh no, it looks like he's been kidnapped. We gotta go find him.
We get to explore an abandoned subway station. Yay! Haven't seen that before.
Now would be a good time to talk about my main gripes with this game, and that's that I feel like I've played it before. Obviously the gameplay style is similar to the previous two, but I really don't find the Commonwealth to be nearly as immersive as the Mojave Wasteland. Fallout 3 was great, and at the time, I never played anything like it. But after playing New Vegas, I couldn't go back. New Vegas was just so much more immersive and so much more interesting.
Maybe this is more personal preference since I tend to prefer the desert to the East Coast, but exploring abandoned buildings and gray rubble just really doesn't appeal to me. The factions in this game are also confusing. Obviously we have the Minutemen, the Brotherhood of Steel, the Institute, but who else really?
One thing that I will say, however, is that I do like how you can play a more active role in the conversations you have with your party members. And I'd be lying if I said that I didn't find Nick Valentine's story of how he came to Diamond City genuinely moving. The redeeming quality really is the way that the characters are written, especially Nick. There are subtle touches, like when you're just sort of idling by a town or a hub or whatever, and he talks to other residents in Diamond City, and he seems to really take a genuine interest in how they're doing. Piper? Why the fuck would I want a snooty reporter in my party? Did she even kill people?
Now that we've murdered the guy who kidnapped my son, we get to go back to Good Springs, or Sanctuary, wherever the hell the main hub of this game is.
This game really wants you to craft things. Like, there is a massive emphasis on crafting things. You can cook things, build things, customize things, and even chemistry things.
That's really dumb. Sorry, but dear game developers, crafting is super lame. I mean, customizing weapons and armor is cool, but really?
One of the main mechanics to this game is building towns? Is this a post-apocalyptic RPG adventure or fucking Sim City? Because at least in Sim City, I know how to build things. I don't have a weight limit that prevents me from carrying all the things I need. Furthermore, I don't have a foobar HUD for building towns that's supposed to integrate with my normal HUD, which is already fucked up to begin with! This is bullcrap!
Other than that, there's really not much more that I have to say about this game. It's good. It's fine, but it's not great in the same way that New Vegas was great. Other than the characters and the story, I don't find myself too invested or eager to continue playing it after I complete this review, and in all honesty, I'm really just doing this because my agent... Fuck me.
Yes, Chip.
Baby, great work! Now wrap it up before people lose interest. Remember, any video any video longer than 2 minutes will not entertain contemporary audiences. This camera tastes like shit.
Hang it up again.
Alright, one more thing before I wrap up. There is one majorly redeeming component to this game that I neglected to mention. Now, this game would be effectively ruined due to the clunky HUD, poor controls, and overall uninspired story and world, but I did find at least one thing that would make me want to keep playing this game now. It's not Nick Valentine. It's Teaser's Lemonade! Ah! Teaser's Lemonade! Jesus Lemonade! Lemonade!
Try it. Yeah, it's done. He did the review. Yeah, 4 more videos like this and I'll be a millionaire.
Yes, and then Chip's soul will finally be mine, and I will be the one to control the galaxy. I must stop smoking.
Hey everyone, as always, thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot. Right here in my heart is where it means a lot at. Don't forget to subscribe and leave your comments down below so I can see them. and read them, because sometimes I get bored and I need to read something in order to entertain myself. And I would like to give a very, very special, warm, heartfelt thanks to my friend Fenix Coffey for helping me out with this episode. He did an awesome job with the material that I gave him. I had a rough idea. Here, this is something that I think could be cool, and he just took it to the next level. And hey, he's a talented guy, so go over to his channel. It'll be somewhere in this area here, and click on the subscribe button and tell him I sent you. I'm sure he'd love to hear it. And you can expect to see him again in later episodes, as well as my friends the DeCostalas, and maybe a few more YouTube guitarists out there. Who knows? Stay tuned, only one way to find out. Bye guys, thank you, take care.